Hello everyone, I'm Katharina Seidler from Resource Yourself, and today I want to talk about losing normal. And we've all had a lot of experience with losing normal in the last months and year. So I think this is a very interesting topic that Dr. Eric Pearl and Gillian Fleer chose for the Live and Learn this Wednesday. And I want to summarize a bit the things that they shared and the questions that I asked us, and share some of my inner and mental responses. So they imparted from the point of view and the statement that, let me quote it right, the greatest healings come about through the loss of things we never would have willingly surrendered. And they led us through a few questions which I want to share with you, and you can just answer them for yourself. The first question was, what is something that you lost against your will? Just one, two, or three things. For me, it was the idea of family, being married, having several children, growing up to be a grandmother and grandchildren. And when my son was born with a genetic syndrome and my marriage went down the drain and I ended up being alone in a different country trying to get through this, it was the most difficult period in my life. And I know now that, at least from how it looks, I'm never going to have grandchildren because my son won't have children. So the second question was, what are the things that I gained? And at first, I couldn't really think of something I gained, but then it just came flooding in. Well, I became a much better professional because of the depth of pain that I went through. Then I became an artist. I never really developed this, and it became a way of expressing myself and something super valuable in my life. I grew immensely on a spiritual level, and I reconnected with my roots and with Germany, and I went back to my country, and I healed the relationships with my parents. And I think today I could say that I've never been as self-loving, as expanded, as self-assured as I am now. And all of this came about because I lost something that I really, really, really wanted. So the next question was, would I trade what I gained for what I lost? And I had to think about it, but no, I wouldn't, because I've never felt so good with myself and with my own life. And of course, I can say this now because it's been years and I've processed a lot. And I know that at some points of this process, I would not have made the same choice. And I could also feel in the Live and Learn how there's so much pain and sadness and guilt and negative emotions for many people when they think about their losses. But still, most people answered the question they would not trade what they gained for what they lost. I found this interesting because really for me it means looking at life and recognizing that through anything that happens in life, we heal, we become more expanded, we get a new chance, and we grow and we receive something better. So that means that life really is healing. It doesn't need a method, it doesn't need anything, just living our lives and our experiences makes us heal. It's all set up for that. And I don't know, that just makes me so happy. There was another question, which was, would you go back in your life and change anything? And there I was really tempted to say yes. But then I realized anything I could change would rob me of the things that I gained and that I received in the process. So no, I wouldn't go back. And I think that for many people, when they let go of the pain and they have processed it, they might come to the same conclusion. So for me, the question that comes up is, well, what does this mean for us? What if life is healing and all these losses and the pain in our life brings something so positive? How can we be happier and be supportive of this process? And I think that the big word is surrender. Well, two words, surrender and receiving. The biggest pains come up because we resist what is our reality. Whenever we accept that this is how it is, we can cut our losses and we can calm down and we can start opening up to something new. And surrender is not always easy, especially when we lose something that's very precious to us. But I think that when we learn to let go and to receive the experience that's there for us, then the process is much faster and the emotions just flow through our system. So I can receive pain, I can receive sadness, feel it, be aware, go in deeper, and boom, there it goes out of my system. So this becomes much easier with reconnective healing, because in the awareness of that I'm so much more than just this person and the story that I'm experiencing, it becomes much easier to surrender. So I hope that we all have this experience and grow and receive the fact that this process can get much easier if we accept the fact that there's pain in life and that it's okay to feel pain. When we can let go of our resistance to pain, we can surrender and we can let go and we can move on to something that's meant to be better, more expanded, more bright, more loving and positive. So I hope you have a wonderful week and lots of love. Bye for now.